Cinema Worms.
Discussing everything from Grima Wormtongue to the Shy Halib.
Linz has chosen a very provocative... Wait. No, but we're on the Odyssey now.
Oh, wait. Okay, splash me with seawater while I look miserable. All of my...
Get under the sea,
Oh no, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. That's the Odyssey. Okay.
The end. Okay,
Let's go
I
for
think y'all have heard of the Odyssey.
Oh, no, you think
Probably.
so? Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. So this is the latest Christopher Nolan film based off of his own screenplay, which he adapted after much research into the Odyssey, the time period, other, iconic films that have inspired him. And as you probably know, there are a lot of famous people in this film.
Yup.
Okay, so first of all, let me just set up, if you don't know what the Odyssey is or is about.
Homeric.
Homeric.
So basically the Odyssey is the sequel in some ways to the Iliad. The Iliad being the sack of Troy, everything, Achilles, Agamemnon, all this stuff, Helen. So the Odyssey is in some parts a little bit about the sack of Troy, because of course there's the most famous part of all, the Trojan horse, and how that all came about and how it was used to sack the city. But mostly it's about Odysseus trying to find his way home after that battle, and it taking 20 years to do it. And, it was a long way.
Was it 10 years after the battle? The battle took 10 years, and then he
took
another 10 years.
Yeah, they were on the beach for 10 years. And then he took another 10 years to get home. So he essentially decides to go a different way from Agamemnon. I guess after 10 years, you're tired of looking at your boss's face. Yeah. Fair enough, I get it. So he's like, no lads, let's go a different way home. And of course he runs into various catastrophes and calamities along the way. And through every single problem, some of which are his own making, some of which, because everyone thinks he's like the smartest guy, he manages to kind of solve or get out of. But he does continually lose men, in the way that I lose pennies in my jeans pocket in the wash. It's not a great look, Odysseus, and through it all he is kind of struggling with the fact that he's been away from home for so long, and he's also struggling with what he has done. In his life, has he had a legacy? What has he meant? Has he kind of stuck by the rule of the gods? Who is he as a man? And what is he potentially coming back to? We're also following his poor bereft wife, Penelope, and his son, Telemachus, who is played by Tom Holland. Penelope.
Okay, we'll get into the actors in a second. That's a long list.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're waiting for him at home, and all these suitors are in the castle trying to marry her because her king husband's been gone for so long.
And because Anne Hathaway's really hot. So
yeah. Okay, so we have a cast that's super, super stacked. You have Matt Damon, of course, playing Odysseus. Totally has like the gravitas and star power
absolutely,
and physicality to play this role. Tom Holland as his son Telemachus. Anne Hathaway as Penelope, wife of Odysseus, queen of Ithaca.
Baby, if there's a Anne Hathaway, there's an Anne Hathaway.
Well done. Well done.
I've been working.
Please
on that
forgive
one.
her.
No.
Robert Pattinson plays Antinius, who's like one of these, like, I guess he's the peak nasty suitor who's waiting around the castle trying to marry.
He's basically the Bachelor.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
He's the peak Bachelor. He's the alpha Bachelor.
Well,
really?
No. She's the Bachelorette. Yeah. He's one of the suitors. Yeah. Obviously. You got it twisted.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know
Except the Bachelorette is trapped in the Bachelor house.
Yeah. I mean, call me reality TV, because I think if she was forced to stay in a room and weave every night, then I think maybe it would be a bit more interesting. Oh. Then again, you probably shouldn't cage a woman, so... Yeah.
Anyway. Then you have actors like Lupita Nyong'o playing like the dual role of Helen of Troy and Clytemnestra. And then
they're not related at all, which is confusing. Why did you cast the same person?
I won't spoil what other figures these actors are playing, but you have everyone from Zendaya to John Leguizamo to Charlize Theron. Himesh Patel actually does play a large role, and I didn't realize that because
he's really good. Yeah.
You would know him. He's really good. He's been in a lot of things, but he's like one of the main characters. But I guess because the other people in the cast are even more famous than him, they're more front and center in the PR.
Samantha Morton.
Yes. Yeah, I was trying to keep surprised. But yes, Samantha Morton, Charlize Theron, all these people. And the score, of course, done by the guy who now scores everything, Ludwig Göransson. And stunning cinematography, of course. Just, we can get into the technical details of everything, but this is an absolute epic film. We both saw it on IMAX. It was filmed exclusively on IMAX cameras, which I think everyone knows now, and the IMAX screenings were completely full.
My God, I've never seen an IMAX screening so full that we could not actually get in for the days that we wanted, and we actually had to see it separately because it didn't suit the times that we wanted to see it. I saw it at 10:40 in the morning on a Friday, and if you know me outside of this podcast, you'll know I don't like to get up, and I certainly don't like to be in a cinema screen before noon. It's crazy, but I did for this film because that's how much I wanted to see it, and you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely worth it. Kind of wish there had been an intermission because it was a little long. I did need to pee by the end of it, but it was worth it. I was riveted the whole time.
Yeah, so thoughts on the film? Sounds like you enjoyed it. You told me, because you saw it first, that you came out of there, you're like, yeah, that was great. That was epic.
It was. I agree with my first thoughts on it. The more I think about it, the more some things have grown on me and some things have waned a little bit. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. I haven't always loved everything that Nolan has done. I really, really hated Tenet. But I thought this was fantastic. There are points in this film where he's recently on record saying that he really enjoyed Obsession and that he'd like to make a horror film next. There are points in this film where I thought, oh my gosh, I can see the kind of horror film you would make if you made one, and I would go and see that film.
It'd be stressful.
It's quite, he makes for like small, stressful, grim moments that are not necessarily big battle scenes that you think like, I'm legitimately more stressful than I was during the battle scene. Like, this is horrendous. The waiting, the anticipation, he knows how to build that. It felt very epic. If the fact that, you know, there's some stuff that was, we don't want to spoiler like some of the events going, because I do think that you should go in not knowing everything about the film, but I will say that there was points where he specifically avoided the use of kind of CGI in favor of just casting people who were like of the right stature to do something. When you see the film, that comment will make a lot more sense, and it makes it feel even more physical and visceral, I think, than it even would have normally. I really enjoyed it. I found the Trojan horse bits and the little flashbacks there were particularly effective. The Trojan horse, we all kind of know it, right? It's one of these like pop culture things that but to actually see it and to see how big it was, but to see how, you know, it's going to happen. They're dragging into the city. It's 3,000 years old, this thing. We know how this is going to go. And I was holding my breath when they're dragging the horse in, thinking like, what, you know, I almost thought 1 second, like, what is going to happen? I know what's going to happen. I've read both the Iliad and the Odyssey. Of course I know what's going to happen, but it was stressing me out.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this is really good. And Hathaway was fantastic. I feel like, because of the fact that Penelope is, as you say, caged, we would maybe assume that she doesn't have a lot to do, but Hathaway's fantastic. She's consistently fantastic. She brought everything to this role. You could see that she was doing her best with the little that she has, the little control over anything that she has, and she is just holding everything together until Odysseus comes home. She believes that he will come home someday, but you can see in her eyes, maybe she doesn't always believe that in some ways as well. Tom Holland doing a great job. As I said to you before, we've seen him being really physical in other roles like Uncharted and Spider-Man, and here he was, because everyone else is like a big burly guy, he felt weedy. He felt like a princeling who hadn't quite come into his own yet.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to see like contrasted that with other people. There's very few roles in this film that I could critique. I did not love one particular portrayal of it was John Bernthal. I thought it was a bit laddie. It didn't quite work for me, but there were some other things that I can't talk about because we don't want to spoil them, but oh my gosh, it was really good, really visceral. I enjoyed the full thing. I would consider going and seeing it again, which, considering how long it is, and I don't often do that. I don't see a film twice, but it's really, really good.
It'd be worth seeing again because it's so chock full of detail, and just visual wonder and action and twists and turns. Obviously, is the story itself it's a bunch of like small stories, right, combined together. And I think before I get into like this, how they did special effects and design, like little details that were interesting, it's, well, first of all, okay, the acting, going off your point, it's everyone's amazing. Yeah, essentially, like it is completely a stacked
even
cast.
Lupita, as you say, like she doesn't get a lot of screen time, but my God, do I remember her? I'm like, could you not have given the woman another 60 seconds? Like she was on screen so briefly, but she was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Matt Damon as the star, really, he's Matt Damon. Yeah, but also like he is convincing in this role. Absolutely.
If he was any younger, 10 years ago, it wouldn't have worked, but now he feels like he has what was it they said? He has the riz, he has the girth.
Exactly.
And I believe he has both the riz and the girth to do this.
The metaphorical girth.
Well,
very lean in this film.
He was. I was like, man, I could wash my clothes on your abs. Are you kidding me? How are you? Wow, you're probably dehydrated as hell. But, looked looked shredded.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Looked good, but also grizzly and sweet. Which he had none of, obviously. His diet was gluten-free. I read that. Okay.
So he had no weight. He was shredded without the weight. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, everyone up and down, awesome. Like I said, Himesh Patel, really great. So really, don't sleep on him.
No, absolutely, a standout performance. And you're right. Like he should be getting a lot more praise for what he's doing because he's consistently there.
And there's someone who plays a certain witch who you thought was great. Let us know, your thoughts.
Oh my God.
You were like, oh my gosh, she was amazing.
I am going to say this right now because I want it on here. I think we're going to see a kind of Amy Madigan thing again. I think we're going to see that. I'm throwing my hat in the ring for this is our best supporting actress nom. I think it's good. And if it isn't, it's going to be like a crazy shame. Because, wow, what a performance. What a performance.
Okay. Absolutely. And you were talking about, like, the way that they made this film. It's all based in, it's so anti-AI, based in tactility,
love to see it.
In realness, from the materials that they're using for costuming being actual linen and leather and armor, to having the Trojan horse model being like actually enormous and huge, to like the sets, to the use of animatronics and puppetry and real performers for lots of these like mythical creatures and like transformations that look so vivid and frightening. It does not look like some CGI bullshit. Everything looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
It
was a feast for the eyes. And I saw a lot of people saying like, oh, it looks a bit, the trailer looks a bit grim or it looks a bit washed out. When you're actually watching it, it doesn't. I mean, sometimes it does because the grading tends to reflect the mood of what's happening at the time. So, and a lot of the time, miserable things are happening, I wasn't joking at the start of this, but I was like, it's the consequence of my own actions. He's constantly doing, frankly, stupid stuff, or stuff that seems heroic in the moment, but actually turns out to be a terrible idea. And so the color grading has to kind of represent his realization that he's done the wrong thing, or he's grieving, or he's angry, or something else. This isn't a Pixar film. You're not going to get a bunch of, this isn't like, what's the Encanto? It's not Encanto. It's not Toy Story. It's not fun and bubbly and brightly colored. It is going to be a bit grim sometimes, but that doesn't mean there aren't moments of beauty or really interesting moments. Like during this after, a lot of it seems to be lit by kind of firelight and torches and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, so cool. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous to watch, but at the same time, it's not just the light, it's where the light isn't, it's the shadows. I really like that.
Absolutely. It's not color graded at all. Like, what's the Green Knight?
I compared it to Encanto.
It's wild. That was wild. It's not color graded. But I like that. It's a stark comparison of colors. It's not color graded like the Green Knight. But if you're thinking about something and they're very different films. But if you're thinking about something that is one man's like journey through like myth, and it's very atmospheric and dark while still being like quite rich and having, it's like a very cohesive visual language throughout the whole film. So I thought that it was really compelling. The IMAX cameras are crazy. You know, it's interesting. Like I'm trying to like capture the way, and I was comparing some of the pacing or something to Oppenheimer, and obviously they're different stories, but the way you're thrown in, and like the music keeps going and going and going, and you're cutting between scenes, like that felt similar to the, please correct me if I'm wrong from what I remember, to Oppenheimer's pacing. And I don't love that, even though I did like what we were seeing in the beginning of this film in terms of setup, because it's a very exciting way to begin. You're seeing a bard telling the story. Travis Scott, what the heck? Bit of a spoiler, I guess, but it's like the first seconds of the film.
For the 10 seconds that you see the film.
Yeah. But it's a bit fast for me. I guess I
found the same thing.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes I was like, oh, I don't love how it's being paced right now, but then we settled in and I forgot about that. But you're right, like the first 5 to 10 minutes felt a bit odd. But then again, I was thinking, well, a lot of people will not know the basis of this. They will not know. They'll come seeing like, do they think they're getting another Gladiator? They'll want to know some information. A lot of people will not have read the source material or even the Cliff's Notes of it. They might not know anything about this. They might know there was a Trojan horse one time and I guess there was Helen, and that's what people remember.
Odysseus.
How many people...
He had to go across the sea.
How many people even remember the name of the man who abducted or took Helen?
No, I barely remember his name, and it was like, I just saw the film.
It was Paris.
Yeah.
And played by Orlando Bloom in the Troy.
Oh my god, yeah.
So who actually, like, I thought did quite a good kind of cowardly Paris. I quite liked him.
Oh, excellent.
But yeah, so like a lot of people won't, so they're gonna want to get in there pretty quick and like tell you some things and make sure you know what's going on rather than waiting, kind of to. But then I'm thinking about kind of, we didn't, as far as I remember, we didn't feel that way about Dune, which the source material for Dune is... I
thought it was really fast paced as well, especially Dune
really?
2.
Okay.
Dune 2.
Yeah.
Not Dune 1.
Okay,
but go ahead.
But
sorry.
No, but Dune 1, because again, so the point that I'm kind of making is the book of the first Dune is so much less accessible than the Odyssey in some ways, because it doesn't tell you anything, right? There's no explanation given. You're just thrown in and you're like, well, you either want to keep up or you're left behind. And Dune, I felt, we get a lot of stuff. We get, some introduction to the world, how the dust is really important, everything's going on. We get the houses, we get Timothée Chalamet putting his hand in a box pretty quick, and finding out some stuff. We're given information bit by bit, and it felt nicely paced so that by the time we've kind of hit the first, kind of climactic part, we're like, okay, we're locked in, we know who the characters are, we know whose side we're on, we know what's happening, we know what the big kind of fight is, who's the antagonist. But you don't necessarily get that here. And it's interesting because the source material is so rich and so interesting, but so many people are probably not aware of it or don't have kind of any connection to it. So yeah, how do you introduce a whole thing?
Well, yeah, it's also because like Dune is written in our modern age, and the Odyssey, is it really written in the same way? It's not like a singular sort of telling of a story. It's a bunch of different oral traditions put together. So I think the way that a story unfolds, or the beats, or the hero's journey. I mean, not that applies to Dune. Dune is it's like super dense.
Dune is just
thing.
inaccessible because it is. But you're right. Like, I didn't consider the fact that one was oral and passed down as well. There's a certain maybe we expected as writers, because it was initially a storytelling thing, because it was passed down orally. Do we expect more story first then?
Yeah, but it's a bunch of stories made into kind of one story. So like, how do you set that up? How do you write a modern script on that, like based on that? So that's the way that Nolan chose to do it. I mean, he threw us in,
and that's fine. I just think that some of it could have been a little bit different to begin with. But
agreed.
I do like the fact that he touched on most of the basic plot points. You've got all of the big moments that I was looking for. There's one particular one that I was really looking forward to, and I was dead excited about it. And we saw it, and I was like, okay, it almost didn't last quite as long as I wanted, because I was like, this is really exciting. I do feel like they changed some stuff about the ending from the original story. I was looking forward to that ending because I felt that there was some closure, but then again, I feel like the original ending reflects more of the sort of mentality at the time, and maybe he didn't want to go as violent with certain things. Like, you don't need to lean into like the things that people 3,000 years ago would have thought was great closure, which might not necessarily have been great closure with the audience now, but it still felt satisfying, still felt really good, just a bit oddly paced to begin with, but then once it settled into its stride, fantastic. Would you say it was comparable? Because I was comparing it to, I was like, is this going to be our new Gladiator? We've not had a big epic for a while.
Yes, this is definitely up there.
Okay.
Like, this is an epic film. This is reinvigorating, like, when you have a Nolan film, like, film making as a whole. So it definitely feels like a classic like that. And then you were talking about the closure, but it's interesting because you have to modernize the story for this day and age, or do something to make it make sense for the audience in terms of the lesson or the character motivation or what you choose to highlight. So I think highlighting, certain aspects of Odysseus's regret or whatever, and then also where the story ends up, that's to kind of bring it together in a new way for us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more we could say spoiler wise, but yeah, really sick. I'm sure you've seen it. Please let us know. I forgot to mention Elliot Page. She's amazing in this film as well.
Elliot
for
Page
as little as he is in it, like really knocks it out of the park.
When I came home, because obviously I had that early morning screening, and you didn't get to see it till 5 days later, and you were like, don't tell me any spoilers. And the only thing I said was like, I'm just still screaming internally about Elliot Page, and I'm not going to say anything else. And I was like, I won't tell you anything, and I'm just going to keep my mouth shut about everything. But I think I put it on Blue Sky as well, because I was like, oh my God, Elliot Page, you did such a good job. I was blown away. I'm still thinking about it. It still gives me shivers. You love to see it. You love to see a young man doing well.
Exactly.
Fantastic work.
Everyone was great. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, let us know your thoughts. It's a very fun, at times quite dark, atmospheric, epic time.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it's necessarily fun for the whole family like Gladiator. It's definitely some darker stuff going on there. But
a little violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really
Gladiator,
film about like a tough warrior who sacked a city and murdered a bunch of people trying to get home and encountering various monsters, a little bit violent.
It's a little bit. There's a lot of lot of violence. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, great film. Let us know your thoughts.
100% great. Go see it.